Good morning. I wanted to make a video about something that everyone in Ohio is wondering and thinking about right now. And I have my notes so I don't forget what I want to say. But because of Snowmageddon, so many kids are missing school, and the questions that I see online are like, how come this district's doing that? How come this district's doing that? When do kids have to start making up in summer? And the short answer is every district is going to be different. So that is something, a big misconception that I'm seeing. So one of the schools around here, so Dayton Public Schools shared a chart that showed that they can go up to like 15 or like 10 calamity days or something before they would have to start making it up, which is true for them. But what's true for them isn't true for everybody else. So I'm going to kind of walk through what the reasoning is behind that. So in Ohio, the state itself changed how they do school. Instead of how many days kids have to go, it's now how many hours kids have to go. So for a kindergarten like age kid going half day, they have to go 455 hours in a year. From kindergarten full day all the way up to sixth grade, it's 910 hours a year. 7th through 12th is 1,001 hours, and then if you're strictly online school, it is 910, but I'm not going to talk about that because that's not where my expertise lies. So built into that hours is everything in the year. So that includes being able to have 2 days for conferences. It includes 2 days of professional teacher learning, and it also includes recess for the kids, that you're allowed to count recess, 2 15-minute blocks, morning and like afternoon recess, or like a 30-minute chunk of time during the day for recess, and it not count against your hours. So that is first. So everyone is going by hours. Now, just because everyone's going by hours doesn't mean that their calendar goes by hours. So every school has a different calendar that they follow, and this is a contractual agreed upon calendar. So everybody has a contract between their union and the school that go through all of these things. The calendar is going to be different. That calendar has to be approved. So for example, I know that our calendar has to be approved by a certain dates. So it's planned ahead is what I'm getting at every single year. So it's not like just because we knew the snow was coming, we can't just like change around days. And then I saw some questions. So I'm going to go through some like most asked questions online that I saw. The first one, why can't we all have 10 calamity days like Dayton Public Schools? Is just because our calendars are different. So if you pull up our calendar and their calendar, or whatever school district you're in, they may have had to start school earlier, or they may go to school later already, which is built-in days. It would kind of be like, so my district is 5 calamity days. It would be like if we on our calendar went to June 4th anyway, we would have those days built in. What we're saying now is we have 5 built in. That today was our 5th one. So any day after today, then we tack on dates at the end of our calendar. The second question that I saw a lot was, why can't we just take out a day? Like people were, I don't know, I'm assuming it was joking, like, we'll just take a day away from spring break and make up for it. No, because the calendar's already approved. People already have plans along, the breaks that we already have. You can't just like take a day away. Like I said, it is contractually agreed upon. And so it's not how things work. That's why it is year by year, and that's why it generally is at the end of the school day, the end of school, that gets tacked on, because it's not adding any days. There's just like a little clause that if we calamity days happen, then it gets put on the end of the year. Third question I saw was, why can't we just do remote learning, or why don't we just have blizzard bags like before? So the state does have this as a option, kind of. There are rules that come along with it. So the state does classify, there's 2 different descriptions, and you have to make sure you get them correct with what you're doing. There's online learning days, and then there's blended learning days. So those are different. You have to be doing online learning days in order to count the hours more than the blended learning. But basically, if you submit a formal plan in your district before August 1st, the state can consider you for being allowed to do online learning days, but you're only allowed to use 3 days as online learning days. So for example, if we have 5 calamity days and then 3 online learning days, we could use our 3 online learning days instead of having to tack it on at the end of summer. But You have to have a plan, like a formal plan, where you have to have something in place for people who might not have internet, who don't have computers, who don't have service, who might not be able to afford to have those things. You have to be able to send stuff home. So yes, we knew the snow was coming. Yes, if you're one-to-one, it could be possible, but no, not everybody has internet. No, we can't guarantee everybody would get on. Um, and so there's a lot more moving parts than I think people might realize. And I don't know if this is just me talking because I love this stuff and digging through it, but it's not as simple as just take a day away or stick your kid online because it's not the same. And the state doesn't recognize it as the same. So there's no district out there that's just like doing what they are doing for them. It's all guided by the state and what the state says that we can or cannot do. And then we go from there. This is just what I know. So there could be parts that are wrong and your district may be different. If you have specific questions about a specific district, let me know and I will try to help. Or try to look it up to be able to understand it a little bit better. This is just something that I enjoy doing. So I have no problem doing that. But yeah, that's kind of the background of why some districts are different. And like seniors especially is a good example because I know like our district does like senior stuff at the end of the year where they get out like halfway through May to have graduation. So like they have to get their hours in before that graduation date. So the end of the year stuff doesn't really work for them. So they really try to limit that because no senior is gonna like come back in June 1st. You know what I mean? So every district might have different things that they plan throughout the year, different breaks that they take that affects their hours. Just there's so many different things that it's not just a one blanket statement. So I'm gonna stop now because it's kind of long, but snow days in Ohio.